Hello and welcome guys to the second part of mineral and energy resources. In this video we are going to cover the remaining portion of the chapter, which is energy resources. If you haven't watched the first part yet, go watch it. The link to that video will be in your top right corner as well as in the description box below. Do watch this video till the end, and if you like it, do hit the thumbs up button, share this video with your friends and subscribe to Eduception. Also, press the bell icon to get notified of all our videos. Without further ado, let's begin. Energy resources. Over here, we are talking about electrical energy, that means electricity. Electrical energy is a key input for the economic development of India. Try to imagine your life without electricity. Electricity is a necessity. We cannot imagine our lives without electricity, because almost everything in the entire world requires electricity. All the industries, not only in India but also in the entire world, require electricity. That is why it is written that electrical energy is a key input for the economic development of India. Now we will not go into deep about energy and electricity, because you will study about energy and electricity in physics. Based on the resources utilized for the generation of electricity, energy resources are classified into two types, which are conventional power resources and non-conventional power resources. Let's talk about them. Conventional power resources are the resources that are being used on a large commercial scale. Conventional power resources are the power resources that we have been using for a long time now, and we use them to produce large amount of electricity. Non-conventional power resources are the resources that have not been tapped on a large scale to generate electricity. We have been using non-conventional power resources for a few decades now, but we are not able to produce a large amount of electricity by the help of non-conventional power resources. What are the examples of conventional power resources? Coal, petroleum, hydel. Hydel means hydroelectricity. What are the examples of non-conventional power resources? Solar energy, wind energy, biogas, nuclear energy, etc. Conventional power resources are tried and tested. Large amount of electricity is produced with high efficiency. Now, we have been using coal, petroleum, hydroelectricity for a long time now. That is why they have become highly efficient and they produce a large amount of electricity. That is why it is written that these resources are tried and tested over time. Non-conventional power resources have not been harnessed on a large capacity. Also, the efficiency levels are lower compared to conventional sources. We all know that large amount of electricity is not being produced by solar energy, wind energy, biogas, or even nuclear energy. That is why the efficiency level is quite low right now as compared to conventional sources. Then, majority of the conventional power resources cause pollution. We all know that coal causes pollution, petroleum causes pollution, and most of the conventional power resources are non-environment friendly. But non-conventional power resources are eco-friendly and they do not cause any pollution. Next, conventional power resources are non-renewable. That means they will exhaust after a limited period of time. We all know about this and we all have been studying this, that coal and petroleum in this earth is limited. After a stipulated amount of time, all the coal reserves and all the oil reserves will exhaust. That means they are non-renewable. But non-conventional power resources are inexhaustible and renewable. Now, humans will be long gone, but the sun will not go anywhere. So solar energy, wind energy, and all these types of non-conventional power resources are renewable and they will not exhaust. Okay guys, so that was all regarding energy resources. After this, we have to study about different types of conventional power resources and different types of non-conventional power resources. So we will do that one by one. Let's begin. We are going to begin with conventional sources. The first resource that we are going to cover is coal. Coal is also called black gold. It is used to generate thermal electricity. Coal is also used for the smelting of iron ore, and it is also used as a raw material in several industries. It is correctly mentioned over here that coal is black gold because coal is very valuable. it burns very well and produces a lot of heat. Now majority of coal produced in India is used for the generation of thermal electricity. 65% to 70% of the electricity that we use in India is thermal electricity, and majority of thermal electricity is produced by the help of coal. Now what is thermal electricity? Thermal electricity is the electricity which is produced by the help of heat. What happens is coal is used to heat up water. That water gets converted to steam. That steam turns turbines, and those turning turbines produce electricity. But it is very harmful because burning of coal produces a lot of hydrocarbons which causes pollution. Coal is also used for the smelting of iron ore. Now guys, the smelting of iron ore requires a very high temperature. To reach that high temperature, coal is a very good substance because first of all, coal is cheap. Secondly, coal burns very well and produces a lot of heat. So it is used for the smelting of iron ore. And coal is also used as a raw material in several other industries. There are 4 types of coal, which are anthracite, bituminous, lignite and peat. Anthracite is the best quality coal and it contains about 90% carbon. Then we have bituminous. Bituminous contains about 80% carbon. Now bituminous is the type of coal which is most abundantly found in India, and majority of this coal is used for the production of thermal electricity and for the smelting of iron ore. Then we have lignite. Lignite contains about 40% carbon. And finally we have the worst quality, which is peat. Peat contains less than 30% carbon. अब मैं यहाँ पे आपको एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ. हम जब क्लास 10 में थे तब हम एक दूसरे से पूछते थे कि व्हाट आर दी 4 टाइप्स ऑफ कोल. तो लोग कहते थे एंथ्रासाइट, बिटुमिनस, लिग्नाइट, पीट. अब जब वो पीट बोलते थे हम उन लोगों को पीट देते थे. लेकिन आपको ऐसे करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, मैं बस आपको एक फ़नी स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ. Now guys, what is the distribution of coal in India? There are 2 types of coal fields in India, which are Gondwana coal fields and tertiary coal fields. 95% of the coal obtained in India is obtained from Gondwana coal fields. What are the Gondwana coal fields? In Jharkhand, we have Jharia and Bokaro. Now Jharia is very famous for coal and it produces the best quality coal in India. Then we have Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, the regions are Korba and Sarguja. Then we have West Bengal. In West Bengal, Raniganj is a very famous coal field. Then we have Odisha. In Odisha, the regions are Talcher and Sambalpur. Then we have the tertiary coal fields. In Assam, we have Makum and Nazira. And in Tamil Nadu, we have Naveli. Now, Naveli is also a very famous coal field. So that was the distribution. Now, we also have to study the advantages and disadvantages of coal. What are the advantages? The first thing, it is an efficient and cheap source of power, which is the biggest advantage of coal. The first thing is it is very efficient. Like I told you, it burns very well and produces a lot of heat. Secondly, it is very cheap. Then there are many products of coal like coal tar, coke, etc. Like I told you that coal is also used as a raw material in several industries. Then we have the disadvantages. Coal-based thermal plants cause a large amount of pollution. Like I told you, burning of coal produces a lot of hydrocarbons which causes air pollution. Then we have acidic water released from coal mines cause water pollution. Now coal mines release acidic water and that acidic water produces water pollution, causes water pollution, sorry. Gases released by burning coal causes global warming. The same thing again. The major disadvantage of coal is that the burning of coal produces a lot of hydrocarbons and many other greenhouse gases. That causes global warming and air pollution. And we have to decrease our dependency on coal because first of all, coal is limited. Secondly, coal causes a lot of pollution. Okay. Now guys, that was all regarding coal. We will move on to the next resource. Moving on to petroleum. Petroleum is also called liquid gold. It is a mixture of oily hydrocarbons and has a wide variety of uses. We all know about petroleum and we also know that currently petroleum is a necessity for humans. We are heavily dependent on petroleum. Why is that? It is used in transportation sector as fuel. Majority of the transportation sector today uses petroleum as fuel. Whether car, bike, scooter, locomotive, aeroplane, ship, almost the entire transportation sector uses petroleum as fuel. We are slowly and steadily moving towards electricity, but it will still take a long amount of time. It is used to generate thermal electricity. We all know that petroleum is very combustible, it burns very well and produces a large amount of heat. That is why it is used in several thermal electric plants. Next, petroleum derived gases are used for various purposes. In our house, we use LPG as a cooking gas. That means liquefied petroleum gas. This liquefied petroleum gas is obtained from petroleum. That is why it is very important. And petroleum derived gases have many other uses. After this, it is an important raw material for the production of petrochemicals. Several industries require petroleum as a raw material for the production of petrochemicals. That is grease, lubricants, engine oil, petroleum jelly, petroleum wax, cosmetics, and there are several other industries that use petroleum as a raw material for the production of petrochemicals. The name contains petro. Other than this, the petroleum industry of India provides employment to a large number of people. That is why petroleum is often referred as liquid gold, because it holds such a high value in our day-to-day lives. Now, what is the distribution of petroleum in India? Now, majority of the petroleum and oil in India is imported from other countries, but still we found a little oil in India. The oil fields can be distributed into two types, onshore and offshore. Onshore oil fields are the oil fields which are present on land. Offshore oil fields are the oil fields which are present in the ocean. Onshore oil fields are, in Assam we have the Digboi oil field, and in Gujarat we have the Ankleshwar and Kalol oil field. Then offshore oil field we have Mumbai High and Alibet. Now majority of the petroleum in India is found in Digboi oil fields and Mumbai High oil fields. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of petroleum? Petroleum is very efficient and has several uses. Like I told you, petroleum is highly combustible, it burns very well and produces a large amount of heat. That is why it is very efficient. Other than this, it has several uses in many other industries. The extraction of petroleum is simple. We just need to find oil. The extraction of oil is simple. We just need to lay a pipeline, we need to drill inside the earth and we can find oil. Next, petroleum can be easily transported by pipelines. This is also very simple. The transportation of petroleum is very easy. We just have to lay long pipelines and petroleum can be transported. What are the disadvantages? Petroleum causes a lot of pollution. It is a fossil fuel, it burns, it produces hydrocarbons and other greenhouse gases that cause the greenhouse effect and air pollution. First, combustion of petroleum generates greenhouse gases. Like I told you, it causes a lot of pollution. Secondly, oil spills cause great destruction of marine life. Now, majority of the oil that is transported currently is transported by the help of ship tankers through oceans. Now, sometimes because of accident, oil spills occur, and because of those oil spills, a great destruction is caused to the marine life. Then it is limited. Petroleum is also limited. It will exhaust after a period of time. So we have to reduce our dependency on petrol as well. Okay, so guys, that was all regarding petroleum. Everything is very important over here, so try to understand everything properly. Now we will move on to the next resource. Moving on to natural gas. Natural gas is a fossil fuel which is a mixture of hydrocarbon gas, methane, carbon dioxide, nitrogen and other compounds. As a resource of energy in India, we have been using natural gas since the 1960s. That means it has not been a long period of time since we started using natural gas. The next thing is, natural gas is somewhat a clean fuel. That means it causes very less pollution. What are the uses? It is used in thermal electric plants. Now, natural gas is highly combustible and it produces a large amount of heat. That is why it is used in many thermal plants. CNG is used as a fuel for vehicles. We all know this, that compressed natural gas is used as fuel for many vehicles, especially in northern India in the regions of Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida. There CNG is used as a fuel for vehicles. Next, LNG is used for cooking and heating. Similar to LPG, LNG, that is liquefied natural gas, is used for the purpose of cooking and heating. And natural gas is also used in several industries as a raw material. Now, what is the distribution of natural gas in India? Mostly natural gas is found in Mumbai High. In Assam the region is Khoraghat. Then we have Gujarat and Andhra Pradesh. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of natural gas? The advantages first. It is a clean fuel and does not cause a lot of pollution. I told you this, that natural gas is a sort of clean fuel and it does not cause a lot of pollution. Secondly, it is very efficient. I told you this also, it is highly combustible, it burns very well and produces a large amount of heat. That means it is very efficient. Next, the transportation of natural gas is easy. Now, natural gas can be easily transported by the means of long pipelines. What are the disadvantages? First of all, it is very volatile. Same thing over here also, it is highly combustible, and if it is not handled with care, it can cause great disaster. The infrastructure required for natural gas is expensive. Now, the infrastructure which is required for the use of natural gas is very expensive. We have to build long pipelines, the drilling method is expensive, and there are many other things that require a lot of money. Finally, natural gas is limited. It will exhaust after a period of time. Okay, now guys, this was all regarding natural gas. Everything is important over here, so try to understand everything properly. Now we will move on to hydroelectric power. Moving on to hydroelectric power, also called tidal power, it is generated by the help of flow of water. Water is released from a good height which drives turbines. These turbines produce electricity. Dams are constructed across swift-flowing rivers to generate electricity. So what is hydroelectric power? The electricity that is generated by the help of flowing water is called hydroelectric power. That is why the name hydroelectric. So what happens is, on swift-flowing rivers, that means on quick-flowing rivers, dams are constructed. Along with the dams, on a great height, artificial lakes or artificial reservoirs are created to store water. The dams release that water from a great height and the water falls on turbines. The fall of water causes the turbines to rotate, and these rotating turbines produce electricity. Let me explain it to you a little bit more. Say this is a swift flowing river, okay? And a dam is constructed like this. When the dam is constructed, along with that an artificial lake or artificial reservoir is created at a great height, say like this. Okay? Then the water stored over there is released from a great height on turbines like this. That flow of water causes these turbines to rotate, and those rotating turbines produce electricity. So basically the potential energy stored in water is converted to electrical energy. Now, what are the advantages of hydroelectric power? First, tidal power is a cheap and non-polluting source of electricity. There is no use of any fossil fuel. That is why it is clean and it is non-polluting. There is no pollution caused when hydroelectric power is generated. Next, storage-based hydroelectric plants provide a source of water for many purposes. Now I told you that artificial lake or artificial reservoir is created. The water stored in these artificial lakes and reservoirs can be used for several different purposes, for example irrigation, drinking and other purposes as well. Next, cost of generation of tidal power is less as no fuel is involved. As no fuel is involved, the cost of generation of hydroelectric power is very less. Adding to this, hydroelectric plants provide employment to a large amount of people. Now, there are a few disadvantages of hydroelectric power. First, ecological balance of the river is disturbed. Now, what we are doing is we are breaking the flow of river. If we break the flow of river, the ecological balance of the river will get disturbed. The soil along the banks of the river will get eroded, the rivers will get more deep, and there are many other causes that will disturb the ecological balance of the river. Next, the area in use loses biodiversity through permanent submergence. I told you this, that artificial lake or artificial reservoir is constructed. The area where it is constructed gets submerged permanently underwater. That is why it loses biodiversity. So guys, that was all regarding hydroelectric power. Now we will have to study about two multi-purpose projects, which are the Bhakra-Nangal Dam and the Hirakud Dam. Let's study about them. Bhakra-Nangal Dam. Two dams, Bhakra and Nangal on the Satluj River, constitute this project. It is located in the border region of Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. This project has 4 powerhouses and it provides electricity to Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Once upon a time, Bhakra-Nangal Dam was the largest dam of India, but it is not the case anymore. Now, Bhakra-Nangal Dam is constituted of 2 dams. The Bhakra Dam, which is situated in Himachal Pradesh, and the Nangal Dam, which is situated in Punjab. The distance between both the dams is just 13 kilometers and both of them are located in the border region of Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. Now, this project has 4 powerhouses and this project provides electricity to Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. The power generation cost of Bhakra-Nangal Dam is very less and it is one of the most efficient dams of India. Okay guys, that was all regarding Bhakra-Nangal Dam. You can study about it more in your book and on the internet. Then we have the Hirakud Dam. It is located on the Mahanadi River in Odisha. It is a multi-purpose project as it produces electricity, controls flood, provides water for irrigation and is a source of employment. It is the longest dam of Asia and it is of great importance to Odisha. Now, Hirakud Dam is very important for Odisha. First of all, it is a multi-purpose project. It produces electricity, it controls the flooding of Mahanadi River, it provides water for different uses of irrigation and drinking, and it provides employment to many people. That is why it is so important for Odisha. It is located on the Mahanadi River and it is the longest dam of Asia. It is a great dam, it is amazing. Okay, so that was all regarding Hirakud Dam. Guys, that was all regarding hydroelectric power and multipurpose projects. Now we will move on to non-conventional sources of electricity. Moving on to non-conventional sources of power, we are going to begin with solar energy. Solar energy is the energy that is obtained from sunlight. India, being located in the tropical region, experiences about 250 to 300 days of clear sunny weather. That is why India is a good location for the generation of electricity by solar energy. We all know about solar energy. We have been studying about solar energy since our childhood days. So what is solar energy? The energy that we receive from sunlight is called solar energy. We receive it in 2 forms. First, heat, second, light. Now, India is located in a tropical region. And throughout the year, about 65% to 75% of the year, we receive clear sunny days. That is why India is a great location for the generation of electricity by solar energy. Solar energy can be harnessed by 2 ways. First, parabolic mirrors are used to store the heat of sunlight, which can produce thermal electricity. And secondly, solar panels. There are 2 ways by which we can generate electricity using solar power. First, using the heat, and secondly, using the light. How using the heat? Parabolic mirrors are used to store the heat from sunlight. That heat converts water to steam. That steam turns turbines and those turning turbines produce electricity. Simple. Secondly, we all know about solar panels. Solar panels have photovoltaic cells. Those cells convert light energy to electric energy. What are the advantages of solar energy? First, it is a renewable source of energy. Solar energy is the energy that we receive from the sun. The amount of energy that we receive from the sun is almost unlimited. So it is a renewable source of energy. Next, it does not cause any pollution. It is eco-friendly and no pollution is caused. Next, it can be used for various purposes. In India, solar energy is being used for many purposes. For the production of electricity, for cooking, for light, for heating purposes, and there are many other purposes. Next, it is low maintenance. Now once a solar farm is built or a solar panel is put up, the maintenance is very low. So guys, that was all regarding solar energy. Now we will move on to wind energy. What is wind energy? The energy that we obtain from wind is called wind energy. Simple. India is the fourth largest wind energy generating nation, which is a very good thing, and we are moving forward very fast. Tamil Nadu and Gujarat are the leading states. Wind energy is the energy that we obtain from wind. Wind turbines rotate by the help of wind, and these rotating turbines produce electricity. Now you may have seen a wind farm or wind turbines. Now wind causes these wind turbines to rotate. Those rotating turbines produce electricity. Very simple. In ancient times, windmills were used to crush grains. You might have seen in movies or any shows that there are old windmills. Those windmills used to produce energy, and using that energy, cereals or grains were used to be crushed. Now, what are the advantages of wind energy? First of all, it is highly sustainable and does not cause any pollution. So wind energy is very sustainable and there is no pollution caused. Secondly, once built, wind farms are cost effective. Same thing over here also, that once a wind farm is built and wind turbines are put up, it is very cost effective and low maintenance. So guys, that was all regarding wind energy. Now we will move on to the next type of resource. Moving on to tidal energy. Water level of ocean and seas rise and fall periodically. The term tide is used for this periodic rise and fall. In narrow creeks, the difference of height of water can vary between 6 to 15 meters. Tidal plants utilize the force of this moving water to turn turbines and generate electricity. Simple. We all know about tides, high tide and low tide. During high tide, the height of water level is high, and during low tide, the height of water level is low. Now, this change of height and the moving water is utilized by tidal plants to turn turbines, and those turning turbines produce electricity. Now, India has a very long coastline. So, if tidal energy is harnessed properly, a large amount of electricity can be produced. Currently, there are two projects of tidal energy in India. One located in Gujarat, in Kutch, and one located in West Bengal in the Sundarban Delta region. What are the advantages of tidal energy? First, tides are periodic and do not depend on the weather. We all know this, that tides occur every day because time and tide wait for none. It does not depend on weather, so it is a good source. Next, it is a non-polluting source and cost effective. So it does not cause any pollution and it is cost effective. Once the tidal plant is built properly, it is very cost effective. Now we go on to geothermal energy. The heat trapped in the interior of the earth is known as geothermal heat. This energy can be tapped in the regions of hot water springs where geothermal activity heats the groundwater and steam is released. Electricity produced by geothermal heat can be utilized for various purposes. So what is geothermal heat? We all know that heat is stored inside the earth. That heat heats up the groundwater and steam is released. That steam can be utilized to produce electricity. So that is geothermal energy. Very simple. What are the advantages? First of all, it is environment friendly. It does not cause any pollution. Secondly, it is a reliable source of water. The heat inside the earth is not going anywhere. So it is a reliable source of energy. Then the maintenance cost is low. Okay. So guys, that was all regarding geothermal energy. Now we will move on to the next type of resource. Moving on to nuclear power. The power obtained by altering the atomic structure of radioactive minerals like uranium, thorium and plutonium by nuclear fusion or nuclear fission is nuclear power. So what is nuclear power? When we alter the atomic structure of any radioactive element, for example uranium or plutonium, by the method of either nuclear fusion or nuclear fission, a large amount of energy is produced. That energy is called nuclear energy or radioactive energy. Nuclear power is the fifth largest source of electricity in India. In nuclear power plants, the process of nuclear fission, that means splitting of nucleus, is utilized to produce electricity. So generally in all the nuclear power plants, the method of nuclear fission is used to produce electricity. What is nuclear fission? Nuclear fission means the splitting of nucleus. A heavy nucleus is splitted into two equal nuclei and a large amount of energy is produced in the form of heat. That heat is used to convert water to steam. That steam turns turbines and those turning turbines produce electricity. Very simple. Now, what are the advantages of nuclear power? First, no greenhouse gas is released. It is a very environment friendly process, but it has its disadvantages also. But no greenhouse gas is released. Then, small amount of uranium or plutonium can produce a large amount of energy. So, a small amount of fuel is required and that small amount of fuel can produce a large amount of energy. Then, nuclear power plants generate employment. Nuclear power plants in India generate a lot of employment. Then we will move on to biogas. What is biogas? Biodegradable waste becomes a source of energy when burnt or fermented in the absence of air. Fermentation of organic waste is carried out in a biogas plant. The gas released is combusted to produce heat for small thermal plants. So basically what happens is organic waste is taken and organic waste is fermented in the absence of air. That produces biogas. Biogas is highly combustible. Now that biogas is combusted to produce heat. That heat is used to turn turbines and that turbines produce electricity. But it is used for small thermal plants. It cannot produce a large amount of heat as compared to nuclear power or coal power. So what are the advantages? First, it helps to dispose garbage. Basically garbage is used to produce biogas, so it helps to dispose garbage. Secondly, the residue can be used as manure. So the byproduct after producing biogas can be used as a manure. Now guys, with the end of nuclear power and biogas, we come to the end of this particular chapter. This has been a very long video. New videos on reception will be coming very soon, so stay tuned. Until then, this is Rishi on behalf of Reception signing off, and guys, take care.